Hey you guys, welcome to today's video. I'm back, yay! So new things are coming out and I am ordering, and we'll have some upcoming videos as soon as I get these things. But you know, I kind of took a little bit of a break and just vegged out, did some other things. A couple of days ago, today's Wednesday, so on Monday I saw the doctor and had what I think will be my last BBL, so a little bit swollen, not too bad. But I also went to the dentist yesterday to get the healing cap on for my implant over here, so I'm definitely swollen over here. I mean, I feel swollen, it hurts, but I don't know if it looks swollen. Enough with the intros. I hope you had a lovely holiday season, that you rested, that you did what you needed to do to recharge and face the new year with brightness and hope. And I'm trying to work it out myself. So several weeks ago, no, actually I take that back, probably 2 months ago or so, I did a makeup for beginners. Whether you're my age, I'm 59, or you're 19, or you're 29, if you're just beginning or you had a long moratorium on makeup and you're coming back to it and you find that maybe your face has changed, or maybe the products have changed, or maybe the style has changed and you're a little lost, that's a good video for you to take a look at, and I will link it right here. In that video I said I do not think contour, highlighter, and bronzer is something that a beginner should be playing with, that you first needed to get your confidence with the basics. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, for me personally, I hardly ever use highlighter because, as you can see, I got a glow going on. I don't feel like I need it. I hardly ever use contour, and I hardly ever use bronzer, but bronzer is the thing that I use the most out of those three, and I especially use it in the summer. Today I'm wearing a foundation that is pretty solid. So I'm wearing the Shiseido Synchro Skin, the first one, and I mixed it a little bit with this, 2 pumps to this to 1 pump of this, because the color of this is a little too light for me and a little deadening. I'm not really sure what it is about this particular shade, but of everything Shiseido offers, this is the best shade match for me, and this is Quartz. Let's talk a little bit about contour and highlighter and bronzer. These concepts have actually been around for a long time, although it seems like they reached their peak maybe 3 years ago here on YouTube. But this is a technique that was originally, as far as I can tell, developed by drag queens. Now, drag queens are men who go on stage and imitate women. Singing is often involved, and this has been going on, I think, since the 50s. It could have been going on for a long time in underground clubs, but I know by the 60s it was out, it was happening, it was a thing. And they took these techniques, I don't know if they created them, but I kind of think they did, to feminize a masculine face. It's a very harsh thing to do on a woman's face. And when you see them on stage, they really look quite feminine, but if you were to see them 3 feet away, it would be a little scary. They're not the only ones who've done this technique. Makeup artists like Wade Bandy, who did all the makeup in the first Scavullo book, at which the cover is gone, so I pulled out the second Scavullo book, which is almost gone. Yes, I've had these since they came out when I was a teenager, and these are fabulous books. Scavullo is the photographer, Wade Bandy was the makeup artist, and it's all black and white, which really lends itself to contouring, except for a couple, like, hello. Wow, she was so gorgeous. And Kevin Aquan, making faces. We have all seen it, have we not? And Kevin Aquan is really, really big on that as well. He has a map in here somewhere of how to contour, and that kind of brought it to regular people. Oh, makeup artists, the tricks. These were the tricks of the makeup world brought to regular people. These books, I think, were pretty phenomenal at the time. So these products are pretty professional, really. Professional makeup artists can get away with it. Drag queens can get away with it. Artists can get away with it. Not just drag queens. They probably use it on stage. They probably use it in the ballet. Anything that's on stage. I don't know. Probably so. But again, you're viewing them from an audience point of view, hundreds of yards away sometimes, and you need to see the face, and a contour really helps you do that. In real life, you may not need that. Let's talk a little bit about what can go wrong and why I think this isn't for beginners. You can go wrong in the color that you get. You can get wrong in where you place it, and you can get it wrong in how much you put on. That's why I think it's best to maybe start with some drugstore stuff and build up as you build your confidence. If you find this technique or one of these things works for you. So contour. I think this is a great contour. This is from NYX. It's double-sided. The other side is awful. Oh, and it fell out. It's in here. This is horrible. You don't really want this on your face. But this is a very nice, cool shade. And contour is shadow. And shadow is generally cool, not warm. So that's a way you can go for just, I don't know, 10 bucks. Let's go into this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow, I think it's called. This bronzer is quite cool, and I think makes a really nice contour for my skin. And there it is right there. So there's a powder, and I just went upstairs to get this. This is Smashbox, the Cali collection. And this has, I think this is a blush, and these two are highlighters. They're not so great, but bronzer and contour. Cooler and darker than the bronzer. And this is actually, of course, not drugstore, but it's a pretty good tool. This is from Victoria Beckham. Check out that packaging. And there are inserts, so you can buy refills to put in these when you hit pan. This one looks like it's not going to show up at all, but oddly, it does do something for me. I mean, look, it looks like a powder, like a setting powder. But when I put it on, I don't know, it seems to just do something. If it's not enough for you, that's fine. You can go into this one. And there it is right there. And this is a bronzer that is not too warm. Important thing is to find a good undertone for you. I don't have a lot of yellow in my skin, and many bronzers have a lot of yellow. If you do have yellow, you probably aren't going to have a hard time just going around Sephora, hitting up the bronzer from each brand, giving it a swatch and figuring out what's going to work for you. But for me, I need something much more neutral, and I prefer something a little cool, meaning not ashy cool like a contour, but reddish cool, because when I get kissed by the sun, I get a little bit red. I am fair, but I tan gorgeously. I wish I could find a picture. I'm sure there isn't one of after I spent just a weekend in Hawaii and I came into the office with a white shirt on. And I remember my boss walked into the office, he's like, whoa, it was a little much. I tan beautifully, but there is a redness to it. And you know, the first day or so especially, which I don't mind that redness. It's not like sunburn. It's just a little bit of redness that says I've been outside, the blood is flowing, everybody's healthy. It's a beautiful look, you guys. And I really enjoyed that look for much of my life until stuff started to happen. And then I thought, yeah, I don't mind being fair. And for my highlighter, I don't want something too pink and I don't want something too yellow. And we seem to be going through a stage the last couple of years where highlighters were not imparting a natural sheen like this, but they were imparting some kind of shift with a blue or a purple or a pink. And I don't want to put that on my face. And I think if you're a beginner, you probably would want to shy away from that in the immediate term as well. And again, for contour, you want to have something a little bit ashy, but not too ashy. So, application methods. This is my favorite way to do bronzer and contour. This is no longer being made. It's from Sephora. And it's not very dense, you guys. And that's what I like about it. You can't really go too heavy. I'd rather build than just slam something on and be stuck. So something that's not too heavy. These are two face brushes from Rougher that are much, much more dense. This one's particularly dense. And these are Goat. Now Goat is more stiff. It picks up more and lays down more and blends more aggressively than something like a Squirrel. This is a Squirrel. This is a blush brush or a cheek brush from Q. And what I like about it, it's almost kind of squared off right here. So you can really put it right here for your contour and be a little more precise. But this is less dense than these two, and Squirrel picks up less. You have to blend for longer, and it lays down a little bit less, but it leaves a very, very, very soft look. And I would recommend, if you can't afford a Squirrel, this is an investment. It's probably about 50 bucks, and this is no longer available. Find something that just doesn't have a lot of density to it. As far as creams go, I think those are a little more advanced, honestly. They can be easy once you figure them out, but I would start with powders. So I'm going to do this side good and this side bad, and I'm doing that because I have this door open, lots of light here. And on this side I have a light here and a light kind of bouncing off this white thing I have draped here to fill out, but it doesn't fill out entirely. And I really want to show you specifically how the mistakes look. And if I show it on this side where there's already shadow going on, you might not see it. So this is going to be the right, and this is going to be the wrong. Recently I saw Tati do a video saying, put your bronzer in your contour. I 100% disagree with her. What she did looked nice on her, but that's not where I get bronze, and that's not where your bronze goes. Your contour is going where the shadows already are. Your contour also is individual to the shape of your face. For instance, if you have a long face, you don't want to contour up here in the temple because it will make it look longer. Maybe you want to do a little bit of the cheekbone because it would be, if you would be like a plus, right? Here's your face, and a contour at your cheekbones would help break up that face, if that makes sense. If, on the other hand, you have a short forehead, you probably don't want to contour up here because it's going to make your forehead look shorter. So think about art class. I think we all took art class, right? I did. Obviously, I've talked about it enough. But if you can remember art class, shadows and light, and consider what the shape of your face is and what do you want to accomplish by contouring. For me, I'm fine, honestly. Would I love to have a strong jawline? Yes. But I do find contouring down here, when you have this much junk going on, and plus I'm really, really swollen, it just looks like you have dark shadow on your face. It doesn't do anything to help you. If you have just a little bit, I've seen Alana Davison do this a lot. Well, but she doesn't contour, she does bronze, and she does down here. But she just has the teeniest hint, teeniest of a double chin. So it tends to work better on people who really don't really need it. So we're going to do a little bit of contouring as per my face, what I think my face could use, much more probably than I normally do. And I'm going to use the Q, and I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer because I think it's a great color. First here, so I am a little swollen. I could use a little bit here. And I'm just looking at where am I seeing this in the first place. I'm seeing it right here. Now for me personally, rather than doing just a line like this, which makes you look a little bit like Tim Curry, right? I like to do something more like this, so it gets wider towards the hairline. So I also do not like to go any further than the eyebrow on my face. You have to map your own face, but the idea is you shouldn't be looking straight ahead at somebody and seeing a slash. So not too far forward. By forward, I mean towards the center of your face. And then I'll bring it up a little bit. My face is, I'd say it's kind of oval, you guys. But I'm doing more than I normally would. And my forehead, I'd say, is average. It's not too long, it's not too short. And that would be it for me. We'll try a little down here, but I've already told you what I thought about that. There you go. Now I'm going to take this brush, which is smaller than this one from the rougher, but it is more dense. So I am going to be careful. And I'm going to go in with this color, which is probably too dark for me. One. It's the right tone, but too dark. And same kind of thing. But I'm just going to keep it as a line, which I see so many people do, and really bring it forward. So the thickest part is up here, which is great. It'll help to fuse the end of it. This is a no, you guys. Then do this. I was really liking my foundation today, so it's kind of a bummer that I have to do this. And when I look forward, you can just see this darkness, and it's not a good look. Now, I saw Tati, as I said, do this video, and when she was doing her application, she just didn't even try. She used not only the wrong color, she put it in a horrible place, purposefully, but she was saying don't put it where you naturally get hit by the sun. Well, where she put it isn't where you actually would put it if you're putting it on where you naturally get hit by the sun. And she used way too much, a way bad color. I'm not trying to get a bad look. So, we are just going to diffuse this puppy. I just wiped it off. And the thing is, this color, it is too dark, but the undertone is good. I could go in with a brush like this, very, very, very light hand, and make this color look good. But to me, this just looks dirty. When I'm looking straight ahead, not so bad. See me like that? It's like, yikes, yikes. Dip back in and then take it off, because I don't want too much. A little bit on the temple. Now, I already, as I said, have my eyeshadow on and my makeup on, but a great place to contour is right from here to here. This will help to thin down the face. There's just, you can feel it with your finger, there's a connection. So I'm just going to stamp a little. And I didn't do that on this side, but I could have, and I guess I will. Right here. Now this brush is not as stiff, so I'm shimming this kind of up and down. Boom. This is the wrong way, it's the wrong color, it is too dark, although the undertone is right. I don't think I could actually make this work, and I am trying to show you the wrong. I'm just saying. Let us go in with bronzer. So, the bronzer in here is this color, which actually isn't too bad, but we're going to go for it. This is the rougher brush. I see so many people doing this. They put it right over their contour. What the hell? First of all, that's not where it goes. Second of all, it looks even muddier. And then, I swear to you, I see people do this. It's almost as if they're putting it all over their face instead of doing the kiss by the sun. I see it all the time. Be sure to get your hairline. And then they put it under their neck right here. Now, I've even seen Lisa Eldridge put it under the neck. But to me, this is our natural umbrella. It's always the lightest part. You don't want it to be as dark as the rest of your skin because it automatically reads, there's something off here, there's something wrong here. So yeah, this is not doing me any favors. I just feel like my face looks dirty. Okay, going back in with the Suq, I just wiped that off and I'm going in with this one. And I'm going to do both colors, back and forth, and on the tip, and then take it off so I don't have too much on. Bronzer. I think bronzer should hit you where the sun naturally hits you. I have looked at pictures of myself when I was a little girl and, you know, a little bit older when I was tanning. And when I did, I always had color right at the top of my cheeks right here. Not here, right here. It's like a little bit of a ledge if you're cheeky like me and the sun just hits it. I also get color around the eyes, but I already have my eye makeup on. And so that is where I'm going to go. However, I don't want to start like this because I have all the pigment on my brush, right? I want to start on top of the cheekbone. So here's the top of my cheekbone, where most people put highlighter. And well, you should put highlighter. And then move forward so I don't have too much on the brush when I get here. It's a very, very subtle look, but I feel like if you look at this side and this side looks like I've been in the sun. Another thing that you can do, something that's really popular now, is putting blush over the nose. But if you have a structure like mine, and again, your bone structure will have a lot to say with how you contour and how you bronze, but if you're cheeky like me, you definitely get some right there. And I just put on some more. I'm still going to start back here with a light hand on top of the cheek, and then right through here. This is a color, a place where I get the color up to the nose. So you have the least amount on the brush when you get to the nose. And that, my friends, I think is the best placement for bronzer. And one more dip, and do the forehead. So for me, I don't actually get the big bronze right here. The shape of my head is like, this part is higher and flatter, and you would think that's where the color is. And you know what, maybe it is. Maybe it's the combination of the shadow that this casts that makes it look like I have more color right around here, this bone right here. And that's where I prefer to put my bronzer. And I'm not going to put any down here. But, you know, just for kicks, I'll put a teeny bit on my neck. Bronzer. This, I think, is the proper way to put on bronzer, and this is the way I see so many people do it. I do not think it belongs in your contour. Alright, you guys, I have a couple of highlighters here, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. We're definitely going to do powder because it is easier. There's more powders than there are creams. My favorite one is the Charlotte Tilbury Highlight Wand. Perfection on my skin. And again, undertone can be a problem. Where you put it can be a problem. And how light or dark it is can be a problem. And how you put it on can be a problem. There are a couple of ways to put them on. You can take a fluffy eyeshadow brush, which is what this is, and do something very, very small, which honestly I kind of recommend. Go small over going big. You could take a dense brush. This is the brush I use for everything else right here. And I see that a lot, you guys. And this brush from Anastasia is actually made for highlighting. It's not nearly as dense as this one. And I think the bristles are actually even rougher. So that's really interesting. So I think what I'm going to do is go in ham. So if you saw my video reviewing these new Natasha Denona products, which I'm wearing this on my eyes, and this is the cheek. This is cream, and we're going to put this on because we don't have any blush on. And this is the highlighter. I tap this on with my finger. I'm going to show you, this is not too dense, you guys, what it would look like when you go too hard. And man, I'm going to have to wash my face because I'm about to bring this down to my cheeks, which I see people do a lot. So you see I have some sheen right here. This is just from my skincare and my foundation. But a lot of people do a matte foundation and then they add the sheen back in. No. I'm going to show you how you can take the same color and make it work. Now again, because I don't have the same light on this side, I oftentimes can't see my highlighter in this mirror. I'm taking my finger and I'm putting it right on top of this bone. I'm doing a little bit of a C shape with this. And I can't really see it, but I know that it's there, and it's very, very, very subtle. You know what, I'm just looking in this 10X. Even on this side I have more makeup on than I usually would, but I'm just trying to show you. Now I'm going to take this brush so I can try to get a little more sheen by polishing the pearls in the same area. There, I think you can see it now. It's just a little thing. I also see a lot of people do the nose thing. The nose thing can be really, really good, but it really can go wrong if you use something that is too bright or something that's too muddy. And I hate to bring in another product, you guys, but for me, the nose highlight, it can make your nose look a little bit thinner because it just draws attention to this line. This is the best product for it. This is the wand. And while I'm there, I do a little bit right here. It makes the eyes appear to be more spread apart, and therefore you look a little bit more alert, awake, and fresh. I would normally blend this with my fingers, but they're dirty from everything else, so I'm just going to just tap this in. If you do this with a dark color, a wrong color, a blue color, a green color, whatever, and you do it with something that's too bright, it looks awful. But this is just subtle enough that it matches the sheen for the rest of my face, and I think it's fantastic. Now, everybody puts on blush, so I'm going to finish up. But I hope that you can see that this is really bad. And I didn't try to make it look bad. I did exaggerate both sides a little bit. I'm going to go in with this blush, which I really, really love. I did see somebody do a review on this saying that there were chunks in it, and she showed. Just look at my fingers. There's no chunks in this. This does have like a seal on it that you have to break through, and then you're fine. For me, I like blush on my cheekies, because I'm a very cheeky person. Not everybody is, and blush in this position might not suit your face. It does mine. Now I'm going to bring it back a little bit. So the blush is kind of meshing with the bronzer and the highlighter, but not with the contour. They're not in the same place. But I see all the time people taking their blush and putting it in the exact same place. So they don't get it on their cheeks. And again, on some faces, they shouldn't. So now I have bronzer, contour, blush, and highlighter almost all on top of each other. The highlighter's a little higher. And I just think no. And on this side, I think yes. And you guys, that is going to wrap up today's video of contour, bronzer, highlighter for beginners, the mistakes you can make, the mistakes you need to think about avoiding, and possible placements depending on the shape of your face. And I'll just go over it really quickly again. Make sure you have the right colors for all three. And you don't want too bright. You really, really don't, unless you know how to use a subtle hand. So this is right here, and it's very, very subtle. Over here, not so much. With your bronzer, don't go too dark. I know, I really want to look tan, but you look like a clown. Use a color that will work for you, and that tanness look will come forward if you apply it in the way that you got tan when you were a kid. If you can find pictures of yourself when you were a child, take a look at where the sun hit your face, at what you looked like. I mean, I remember, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, you guys, so we spent a lot of time by pools and by the ocean, and there's plenty of pictures of me, and I remember looking in the mirror and seeing that redness right up here, right around the eyes, because it made my hazel eyes look super green. and I know where it goes. Your face will be different than my face, but if you're very cheeky, as I told you, it's right there. Boom. That's where you get it. And for highlighter, same kind of deal. Look at the color. Interestingly enough, this same color applied very subtly is lovely. On the cheeks, I don't agree. I know some people can do it, but to me, it doesn't belong right here. I already have sheen right here from my skincare and my foundation, and I don't want to do that. I'm sure it looks good on camera, but in real life, this is scary town. Don't put your blush, your contour, and your bronzer on top of each other. It's just muddy. On this side of the face, they're all in slightly different areas. There's my contour, my bronzer is right over here, my blush is kind of in between them, and my highlighter is right here. And I feel that the look is far more natural. And that is it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I truly, truly hope this is helpful for you. If anything, it just gives you a jumping off point when you're going to the drugstore, Sephora, wherever you're going, figuring out what do you need, what do you don't need. And as I said, not everybody really needs contour. And that's it. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.